I'm currently at the DSO Academy. The DSO Academy is Detention Service Officer. Thank you, Lord. I have been here at the Detention Service Officer, here's the building in the background. And it's been going all right. I prayed yesterday the day before I started, and asked God if there's any way I can have favor before I even started the class. I asked for favor, and I wanted to have something different, to have something selective, to have something markedly different while I was in the class, and I got it. Turns out, yesterday the sergeant announced that there would be a class sergeant, there would be an administrative sergeant, and there's going to be a scribe, someone who would take notes and just notate things for the benefit of the whole class. And then also someone who was going to be the PT sergeant, who's going to stretch out everyone while we're information before we start class. We voted. There were some individuals that negated that vote, those results, and still during the second count, during the second vote, I still became the admin sergeant, which is second in command among my fellow students, and I'm just glad about it. I prayed and I thank God about it. Again, I applied for the deputy, which is a step up from a DSO. I am a jailer. I am a correctional officer. I work in the jail in Dallas County, and a step up would be deputy. Actually, a step up would be a DTO, because then you would be over other DSOs, a detention training officer, and then over that would be a sergeant. But now I'm going to be a deputy, and I will be outside either paroling or a marshal, which walks around and secures government buildings, or a constable who delivers warrants and citations and evictions, or a bailiff who protects the judge. And those three, and possibly even more, things are offered as positions of where deputies are positioned and stationed. And although I'd prefer to be a marshal, I've been told that it's such a boring job. But I mean, driving around, you might be driving around by yourself as a constable. I hope to do all three. I would love to know for sure that I like or dislike either of them. As of today, right now, I just got a call from the investigator who checked my background, who checked my psych, who checked my sustenance and physical capabilities, and said, yeah, I made it into the deputy, which means I'll get $1,000 more in per check. I get paid twice a month here as a DSL, and the same will be for a deputy. Another thing afforded to me as a deputy is to just do private work. I've talked to one, it was around the gas station at QT over where I live, and he was just like, oh man, he doesn't even worry about his actual paycheck. It's the private work that he does for football games and for private churches or public individuals having a public party or private party, whichever. They'll hire him and ask him to just secure the premises, and he can make anywhere from like $400 in a day, sometimes $1,000 in a weekend. And a lot of times people who work in the sheriff's department like deputies as opposed to a police, because deputies and police officers do the same amount of work, but deputies have more of a jurisdiction because they're part of the sheriff's department. More of a jurisdiction means that police are assigned to just one city as opposed to a sheriff who is assigned to all the cities in the county. And so it is easier for those schools and groups and organizations and personal or private or individuals to hire a sheriff and get clearance for the next upcoming town that they'll be traveling to, or the next city or that they'll be traveling to, because the sheriff that they used at the last football game is also going to have jurisdiction at the next football game in this city and that city, for this school and that school. And I'm thankful for it. According to that particular guy and 4 others that I've talked to, they've made anywhere from $100,000 to $110,000, $115,000 in 1 year. But also they're men, I'm a woman, and I do value spending time with my children. So I love to hear how much they made, but it's just interesting. I don't know if that's actually something I should shoot for as a goal, because then it'll definitely jeopardize, and it'll be at the expense of not just my children, but what I want for them. Spend time reading the word and just being present and available to hear and listen to them in these young years. But this video is specifically about me praying, and also against that thought that makes me think that I'm praying too much, that I'm asking too much, that I'm asking God too much, and it's worrisome for him, that it's too heavy for him. And it's not like he can't do it, but that I'm asking too much, like I'm meeting my mark, I'm meeting my amount of times that I can ask him. And I want you to hear this video and know that that is ridiculous, and I'm sure it's a tactic of the enemy to keep us dependent. Every single thing and every single moment we should depend on the Lord. There isn't a time that we should take a break, and that we can take a break, as vile as we are. So why then shouldn't our prayers also be, as numerous and as big as that? That is what I want this year for my children, to not just develop and establish, but really get in the habit of praying to him. I'm in a tight situation, immediately go to God in prayer. And I pray that for you as well. Develop, strengthen, and execute your praying relationship with God.